Some performers' lives are so profoundly interwoven with their craft that they never take a rest. They don't even think about eventually retiring. Instead, they spend every year of their life perform. Some performers' lives are so profoundly interwoven with their craft that they never take a rest. They don't even think about eventually retiring. Instead, they spend every year of their life performing, be it on stage or screen, right through to the, sometimes bitter, end. Some simply collapsed on stage, while others left this world in much more catastrophic and violent ways. But, however they went, all the celebrities on this list faced their demise in front of an audience. Some celebrities have taken this commitment so far that they even died on stage, imbuing the phrase "he died doing what he loved" with some very literal meaning. The death of Les Harvey was a shock, pardon the pun. In 1972, the Scottish guitarist for the band Stone the Crows was performing on stage at a concert in Wales when he was electrocuted by a microphone that wasn't earth-grounded. Stone the Crows could potentially have had a meteoric rise to fame as the band was just coming off a successful album called Teenage Licks and were under the management of Peter Grant, who also had managed Led Zeppelin. In fact, Harvey had also toured with Led Zeppelin. However, the band broke up shortly after Harvey's death in front of thousands of fans. Eric Morecambe was a talented English comedian, singer and actor. In 2002, the BBC named him as one of the 100 greatest Britons of all time. He was perhaps best known for the Morecambe and Wise show, in which he starred with his comedy partner Ernie Wise. In 1984, during a charity event in Gloucestershire, England, Morecambe suffered his third heart attack in 16 years. After a sixth encore, he immediately collapsed after stepping off the stage. He was rushed to hospital and pronounced dead 5.5 hours later. The death of Edith Webster is so bizarre that it sounds just like the plot of a play in which she may have appeared. Not only did she die on stage, but she died while acting out her character's death. In 1986, the 60-year-old Webster played the role of a grandmother in a play called The Drunkard. She had played the same role for 8 years. As with any other performance, she would sing a song and then slump over dead. However, during her final performance she wasn't acting. The audience was convinced that it was all a part of the show, as her performances had always been so believable. She received a round of applause, but she wasn't alive to hear it. In 1954, R&B singer Johnny Ace was performing at the City Auditorium in Houston, Texas on Christmas Day when he shot himself in the head during a break between sets. He was drinking and playing with a gun backstage, as he often did, but it is uncertain whether he was playing Russian roulette or just fooling around with the gun. After pointing the gun at several others, he put the gun to the side of his head and it went off, making his death perhaps one of the most senseless ways a celebrity has ever died. His song Pledging My Love became a #1 hit for 10 weeks following his death. The on-set death of model and actor John Eric Hexum is another example of a celebrity fooling around with a gun and accidentally killing himself. During a break from filming on the set of the CBS TV show Cover Up, Hexum was shooting off blank rounds from a .44 Magnum handgun. He pointed the gun to his head and shot a blank round into his temple, which caused a piece of his skull to be lodged in his brain. He underwent surgery, but was pronounced brain dead 6 days after the accident. He was taken off life support under the direction of his mother. Red Fox was not only a comedy legend in his own right, but he also influenced a plethora of stand-ups such as Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy. On October 11, 1991, Fox was rehearsing on the set of his sitcom The Royal Family when he suffered a fatal heart attack. Many believed he was faking it because that was a common gag for his character on Sanford and Son. However, this time the heart attack was no laughing matter. Fox was rushed to hospital, but he died later that evening. In 1992, the legendary comedian posthumously received a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame. Australian celebrity wildlife expert Steve Irwin, who earned the nickname the Crocodile Hunter, had a reputation for getting up close and personal with dangerous animals, so perhaps it was inevitable that this risk-taking would be what finally killed him in action. However, few would have suspected it would be a stingray that ended his life, rather than a crocodile. Irwin and his television crew were at the Great Barrier Reef filming a nature documentary called Ocean's Deadliest when Irwin was stabbed in the heart by a stingray. It is believed the stingray thought Irwin was a predator and became frightened when it was boxed in. The stingray's barb pierced Irwin's heart and killed him.